You're listening to Potty Mouth Radio, the home of movies, music, television, and comedy. This podcast is filmed in front of a live studio audience and contains coarse language. Could it be any more spoilery about a 25-year-old sitcom? Hello everybody and welcome back to the one where we watched a Friends rewatch podcast, where this week we watched The One With The Blackout. Ain't that right, Noosk?
Yeah, good app.
It is a good app. How you been?
Well, I live with you, so you know.
I was asking.
Busy?
I was asking for the listeners.
Oh, busy.
They don't live with you as much as they'd love to.
Debatable.
So let's hop straight into it then. The One With The Blackout is the 7th episode of Friends. It aired November 3rd, 1994, and it was written by Jeff Astrid and Mike Sikowitz. A few fun facts about this episode. This was a crossover. Did you know this?
What do you mean?
I had no idea.
Oh, is this the Ursula crossover?
This was aired as part of a series. This was after Mad About You, and in that you actually see what causes the blackout.
Oh.
And then there was another
Wow.
short-lived sitcom called Madman of the People that aired after this and also continued this blackout storyline.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They were just desperate for
I
attention.
know. Seinfeld also aired this night but did not mention the blackout in the story.
They were too cool.
Yes. Another fun fact, you remember in episode 2, the one with the sonogram, I told you that that was one of only 2 episodes that Schwimmer got an Emmy nomination for throughout the series. This is the other one.
This one?
Yeah, so both in season 1. I found it weird as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into it then. So it's my turn to try and do the synopsis in
Good luck.
30 seconds. This will be an easy one, won't it?
Probs.
All right.
You get all the easy ones.
That's not true. That's not true at all. All right.
Would we say that?
On your marks, get set, go. Okay, so the guys are at the coffee shop. Phoebe is about to start performing, and boom, there's a blackout. It's New York wide. They all go back upstairs to Monica's place, except for Chandler. He's trapped in an ATM vestibule with a Playmate model? Playmate? Victoria's Secret model. Very pretty lady. The rest of them are trapped in the apartment with no power, and Rachel meets a very attractive Italian man named Paolo, and I think that's it. Did I do it?
I guess you did it. I love how you count yourself down to it. That's a bit cute. Also, how many times do I have to ask you to remove that goddamn fucking sound?
Okay, well, this is episode 7. You've asked me 7 times.
Yeah. Let's not let it get to 30. Come on. Or 10.
Okay.
I don't have headphones on and I can hear it from here.
I'll change it in post.
Please do.
I will.
No, you won't.
It's all good.
You're not going to.
All right, so the episode opens, as I said, there's a cold open. They're all at Central Perk, and Phoebe is about to do her very first coffee shop performance.
She's doing her debut.
Yeah.
And her hair looks bloody glorious, can I just say?
Oh, I have another fun fact for you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you noted this in the episode. You told me to make a note because you said, oh my God, her hair looks so amazing.
It often does in these first seasons.
Can I tell you something that is going to wrinkle your brain?
Yes, wrinkle my brain.
It's a wig.
Yeah. Hollywood does that a lot. It's so, like, there's nothing wrong with wearing wigs, of course, but it's so disappointing and yet validating.
Wonderful.
Because you, it looks glorious.
Yeah.
And then you realise it's completely unattainable. And so you feel better that it's unattainable, but also that, yeah, it's never going to happen to you.
Yeah, I feel like this is something we should have known, but wonderful listener and patron of the show, Mel, she sent us a lovely message saying that she's been loving the show and also asked if we were aware of this, that, later on in the series where they have fantasies, the one that could have been.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like the stock lady and she has the short hair. That's her real hair in that episode.
Oh, the short hair.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
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 She rocks that.
So there you go. It's a wig. But we don't even get to see her perform because there's a blackout.
Yep. Yeah, I love how she's like, oh, okay, thanks, bye. Classic Phoebes.
This is also the first cold open of the show that crosses multiple set pieces.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because as well as the coffee shop, we also see Chandler in the vestibule. Yeah.
All in the cold open.
All in the cold open. We go to the cold open and tell you what, he is perving on her something chronic.
Yeah, it's real bad. I would not feel safe if I was her. Like, no woman's going to feel comfortable being trapped in an ATM vestibule with a man they don't know. But he is leering at points.
Oh, yes.
And it's like, Chandler, rein it in. Fuck. But I just can't believe in this cold open that's the first time that Phoebe is going to sing.
Yeah.
Like, and before that, we actually haven't heard her play guitar really, or like her funny songs. Like, that's a core part of her character. And yeah. I mean, I know it's still the first season and this is where things have to start happening. Like, at some point you have to introduce some things, but yeah, it always felt like it was instant.
Yeah.
Immediate.
So then we're at the apartment. All of the guys are there except for Chandler, of course. Mm-hmm. And, I love this entire episode, mainly for the aesthetic. They've got all the candles lit. It's so dark.
It's not that dark.
I really want to give credit where credit's due. I think the lighting in this episode is really good.
Oh, okay.
It is hard to light realistically like that, particularly on a set with a live audience there.
Mm.
That's crazy hard to do, to make this look as authentic as it does. It does look, I think, like it's mainly lit by candles.
Oh, hard disagree. But I have never set lighting in my life. So, like, I've told other people what to do with lighting, but I have not. And you have told me it's notoriously difficult. So I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really love the look and the aesthetic of this episode. And just the vibe, the feel,
just the vibe.
You're
here for the vibe.
It reminds me of, this is going to sound really stupid. One of my favorite nights of the year is Earth Day.
Yes.
When everyone turns their lights off.
Yes.
It's not an actual blackout, so you don't have to stress about, the stuff in the fridge or the freezer going bad. But everyone turns their lights off. You light your candles. You play some board games.
Yeah.
It's got a fun vibe to it.
And you're only meant to do it for an hour, aren't you? And
yeah.
You end up doing it for much longer than that. Oh,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I love Phoebe wanting to call her apartment to check on her grandma and having to ask Monica what her number is.
Don't call me. That actually, like happened to me once as a kid. Like I was sort of trained to have like some spare change so I could use a payphone in an emergency if I needed to. We're going real back here. And my mum had to write my number in my backpack because I didn't know my own number.
I mean, it's true. Who calls themselves?
But it's also, that was the time when everyone knew everyone's number. Like, I remember your number, your house number. I can still memorize it. Like, I can visually see it in my head dialing it on the keypad. Oh, yeah.
I still remember my best friends from primary school's phone numbers.
Yeah. And now you don't have to remember anything.
Yeah.
Except maybe your own to write down on forms.
Yeah, that's true. Things have totally flipped.
Anyway, first world problems.
So then we're in the vestibule and Chandler recognizes this woman, but he can't think of who it is. And he's trying to remember. And I really love that moment when she introduces herself and he goes...
Over the phone.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom, it's Jill. She's right. It's Jill. Yeah, and she's like, I don't know, some guy. I'm here with some guy. And he's like, some guy.
I could be some guy.
Yeah. And then he kind of...
the other night with some guy.
And then he like walks over to her.
Oh, the creepy dance.
Like
he's... just creepy dance
like
walk.
He's smarming over.
Oh, the way he moves in that scene, he looks like...
Oh, that's a very Chandler move.
Oh, no, it's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It doesn't look like a natural human walk.
Oh, my God. I did not... Now I'll never be able to see it any other way.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
He's trying to think whether it's called an atrium or a vestibule. And he goes with vestibule because that's what she calls it on the phone to her mum.
Yeah. Jill says vestibule. Going with vestibule.
But yeah, Chandler's creepy in that moment. And she would absolutely be freaked the fuck out.
Oh, I would be. I'd be terrified from the moment it went black and then went back on and then you find out you're stuck in there.
Yeah.
And it ends up being like a really sweet scene, but and it's only at that point that she like when he's walking weird and being creepy, that she looks over and is like,
Yeah.
you know, and he's like, oh, I'm scaring her now. It's like, yes,
Yeah.
you're a man, so please think about that.
Yeah.
At all times.
Honestly, she's being far kinder to him than I think she has any requirement to be.
Have you met most women?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen that TikTok of the guy who's out for a walk by himself and he's filming himself?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, giving this woman a wide berth so she knows I'm not going to attack her, smiling the entire way up, saying, cheerio, good morning. So she knows I'm friendly and not a threat.
It's so true. I mean, obviously, the first world problems, it would be much worse to be the woman. I hate walking around at night and realizing that I'm going the same way. Not even just a woman, just anyone walking in front of me. And I'm like, they're going to think I'm stalking them. And it's so awkward.
Is it for you?
I will often turn and go the wrong way for whole miles.
And
just
we
so
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yep. You're the real MVP of night walks.
Yeah. So then we're back at the apartment, and Joey has brought out a menorah because it's the only candles he can find.
And it was from Chandler's ex-roommate.
Yes.
Yes.
First mention of an ex-roommate.
Yeah, yep. But we don't ever really find out more than that he was Jewish. And aren't Monica and Ross half Jewish?
That was my thought as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was
that
like,
was exactly my thought.
Wouldn't they make a comment about having, I don't know.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Yes. And they all rush over to the window because ugly naked guy has lit candles.
Yes, and that's terrible.
Yeah, because he's naked and ugly.
Yeah. And then doesn't he burn himself or?
Yeah. They're all
That's the punchline. He's ugly, naked, and then he burnt himself.
Yeah.
Which is what you deserve if you're fat, ugly, and naked.
Well,
because
yes.
you shouldn't do that. You
Yes.
shouldn't be like that. Is what TV is telling us.
So straight off the bat again, this episode is doing that thing we've spoken about several times where we're cutting back and forth. There are some scenes in this episode that last less than a minute.
Yeah.
And we're cutting back and forth.
Yes. So we're back in the vestibule.
Yeah.
And Chandler offers... Chandler gives her a creepy smile.
Creepiest of smiles.
The creepiest of smiles.
Like it's worse than when I purposefully do my creepy smile.
I
at you
hate
and
that
you hate
smile.
it. It's worse than that.
Yeah, maybe. So, and her response to that is to say, would you like to call someone? Like, she's just nice and accommodating him when really she should be like, I'm a black belt.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Don't fuck with me.
Not only is she nice and accommodating, I'm going to say this right now, she is extremely attractive.
What? What has that got to do with anything?
No, I'm just saying.
I know.
She is extremely attractive.
Yeah.
Way more attractive than even my memory of her was.
Oh, okay.
Like most
Great.
Most women in the 90s, not that attractive. Most of the time, like I said,
stop.
Like
Please
I said
shut
last
up.
week when Chandler was talking about that woman as if she was the most attractive woman in the world, and she wasn't.
She was gorgeous. Oh,
Jill
my God.
Goodacre, God, man, she's got it.
Yes. Well, she was a Victoria's Secret model, so I guess she fits the bill. I mean,
Yes.
Victoria's Secret is just fucking bullshit. But anyway, good for her. She's lovely. She's not terrible to look at. But offering the guy who's creeping you out a bit your phone, your one sort of safety device to the external world,
Yeah.
wouldn't be my first choice.
No, if it was me, I actually wouldn't get off the phone. And I know that
Yes.
you would do the same
No,
thing.
I
Like,
wouldn't.
there have been times where you have called me purely just to be on the
Yes.
phone as someone walks past
Yes.
you or something.
Narrating where I am and what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah, if I was her, I would not actually get off the phone, yet alone hand it to
No.
the guy I'm trapped with.
But that's how you can tell men wrote the episode.
But we do get what I think is probably the funniest scene of the episode, because so Chandler calls the guys. And, at first he talks to Monica and he's trying to explain where he is, but he's doing the voice for me.
What?
And then he does it twice. She doesn't get it. Put Joey on the phone, and Joey gets it immediately. Chandler's trapped in an ATM vestibule with Jill Goodacre.
Yeah.
I love that moment. It's
and then
so
you
good.
turned on the subtitles to see if you
because
could
Joey
pick...
mumbles back.
Yes.
Yes, which is another hilarious moment because he doesn't have to. He's in the room with the guys, but he still just picks up on the vibe and does it back. And all the subtitles said was mumbles indistinctly.
Yes.
However, I did some Googling.
Oh.
And according to TV.com, who did not cite their source, so I would be curious to listen back.
Yeah.
According to them, Joey says, see if you can tell what kind of underwear she's wearing.
What?
Yeah.
What?
And I wouldn't be surprised if that is actually the line,
right?
given what we've seen from Joey so far. But I don't know.
Pause the
podcast.
Pause the podcast. We're going to bring it up on YouTube right now. What the fuck? If that is what he actually says, I will be so disappointed because that is just gross. And we know it's supposed to be something playfully inappropriate because Chandler's like, yeah, like that thought hasn't entered my mind. But I thought maybe it was like, ask her out or ask her for a stick of gum, which comes in later.
Yeah.
Not. Oh.
Okay. Well, let's hear it. Let's see.
Okay.
He's trapped in an ATM vestibule with Jill Goodacre. Chandler, listen.
Yeah, like that thought never entered my mind.
I think it is what he says. I think it is. I think it's see if you can tell what kind of underwear she wears.
I'm so sad now.
Yeah.
I already you have to watch this show with a grain of salt. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's the right expression I just used. But anyway, people know what I mean. I'm very tired. But like,
Yep.
Also further evidence that men wrote the episode.
Yep.
Pigs.
All
what
right.
is wrong with you people?
So then we're back in the apartment and they're all playing games, not your typical kind of board games. They're playing truth-telling games, which again, this is one of my favorite kind of things. This is so what you actually do when you're with a group of people and maybe you don't have any board games around, like you've got no electricity, you can't play Nintendo. They're playing,
Nintendo.
They're playing essentially what's the weirdest place you've made whoopee.
Yeah. We've played that with our friends, like Never Have I Ever.
Of course.
And it was deeply revealing stuff about our friends that I didn't want to know in the end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, once again, Ross
that
and
trip
Monica,
to the snow? Oh,
yeah.
Can't.
Ross and Monica are brother and sister. They don't need to know where people made whoopee. Monica says she did it on a pool table, which Ross finds very disturbing.
Well, he's like, that's my sister. And I'm like, but didn't she know when you lost your virginity?
Yeah.
And like consummated your marriage or relationship, sorry.
Yeah.
What? Like, consistency.
Joey's weirdest place is in a library, which leads to, what were you doing in a library?
Yeah. But I love that because later on, Joey is known for making out in the library in front of Ross's book.
Phoebe's is Milwaukee. Just Milwaukee.
And honestly, that would be weird.
That would be weird.
She grew up in New York.
Ross's, however, is truly disturbing. Because he did it on It's a Small World.
Yep.
Like, sure, it was broken down. He did it, where was it? Like, behind some of the village children or something. But
the Dutch children. Something. It's so yuck.
Yeah, it's not right.
No.
Ross. Also, massive goof catch here, just because you know that I'm a massive Disney nerd. He goes on to say that he was kicked out and banned from the Magic Kingdom. That's Disney World, not Disneyland.
Yes,
so
exactly.
You fucked up, Ross.
Yeah. Good job, writers. Like, seriously, get your act together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, there's kids. Like, if the ride broke down, there'd be other families sitting there in boats, just waiting to, for it to start up again.
I mean, have you heard the story about the poor disabled man who got trapped on that ride? The ride broke down, and there was this wheelchair-bound guy that they couldn't get off the ride. So they evacuated everyone else. He's trapped on there for like 45 minutes. The ride isn't moving, but they can't shut down the song.
What?
So he's just trapped there with It's a Small
No.
World. Oh, yeah.
That would send you postal.
He sued. He sued for damages and won.
Oh, wonderful.
For trauma. Yeah.
I mean,
it's
a drop in the ocean for Disney. Fuck off.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, if you can't shut off the song, and I don't believe that to be true, then fetch the man some headphones or something. What the hell?
Yeah. And then another one of the weirdest things in the world happened. I mentioned it a few episodes ago when we get a crossfade into Chandler's memory. Mm-hmm. This is different to that.
Good.
But there's a music sting. You know the music stings that you get in Friends between scenes? Like, yeah.
Yep.
This one has...
That was terrible.
This one has singing in it.
Oh, yes. Both you and I were like, singing?
Yeah, it's like, ba, 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 ba. Like, it's like, what?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in
Guys,
Friends.
this isn't art house cinema.
It's
Just
so
fucking know your
weird.
place. We need the little guitar riffs and that's about it.
Yeah.
Do not change it.
Yeah.
They were still finding their feet. They hadn't found the formula exactly.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. And you really can feel that in this early season. Like, there are times where you watch the episode and you're like, if this was 3 seasons later,
Yep.
X and X would have happened, as
Yeah.
opposed to what did happen.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're still in the apartment, but time has passed. We don't know how much time has passed, however long it takes people to sing ba 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 ba. And Ross and Rachel are talking. And again, I got to say, like, I've seen this show so many times that it's really hard to separate the later seasons from the early seasons and, you know, the whole Ross and Rachel on again, off again. But like I've said almost every time so far this season, I actually really like the stuff of Ross and Rachel just connecting.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it's really sweet.
This scene of them just chatting, and by the way, Ross is wearing a turtleneck that looks so fucking cozy. I want to wear that in a blackout, and I don't even drink wine, but I would. I would sit there wearing that
I
turtleneck.
want you to drink wine with me all the time.
Okay, how about tomorrow night? We have a fake blackout. We turn all the lights off. We wear turtlenecks and we just drink wine and chat.
You know, it's summertime. I'm not wearing a fucking turtleneck.
And too bad I am.
You don't own a turtleneck.
I'll buy one.
You'll have to contact our friend Eddie. Surely he's still got some. Fuck, he used to wear turtlenecks all the time. We'd make fun of him for it.
But I really like this chat. They're talking basically about, you know, their present and their future. Rachel's talking about her relationship with Barry, how there was never any passion. And Ross says to her, you know, I see big passion in your future. And it's a really nice moment.
Yeah, I do. I like sometimes the writing of them is really nice and the acting.
Yeah.
And then occasionally, more than occasionally, they are like, oh, wait, this is a sitcom. We have to push harder. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
You've got 10 seasons, guys. Relax.
Yeah. But
they didn't know that.
This is an episode that balances that and the sitcom aspects really well. Because
No, I disagree.
Oh, no, because immediately after that conversation, Rachel walks away. Ross gets up, he's all kind of smug and happy with himself about how it went. And
I connected with Rachel.
And then you got to Joey just sitting there playing with the candle, which I love for starters.
Because you always sit there and play with candles.
And the way he said, never going to happen, man.
Yeah, funny.
And Ross...
Because Ross also hasn't told Joey and Chandler yet that he is desperately in love with her.
Yes.
So, you know, some members of the group are picking up what's been put down.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like Joey's, the way he says that.
What's even better though is Ross's response, which is for
what,
me.
What? Why
not?
Why not?
Yeah. Sole reason I think that it was worthy of an Emmy nomination.
Yeah, it's not later how he reacts to things. It was that bit.
So then I don't know if you picked something up here though. You and I, because we are constantly rewatching Friends.
We are very sad.
Just before we started recording, we actually started midway through season 3.
Yep.
And there's an episode
On shuffle.
There's an episode where Phoebe mentions her BFF, and we looked it up, and that was the first ever use of BFF.
Yeah.
Well, here Friends is again. Joey here cracks out friend zone, first time ever. This is the first use of friend zone.
Yeah, I did ask you if that was the first use of friends, and you've obviously gone in friend zone. Sorry,
I did. I checked. I
You've
looked up
done
the
your
etymology.
research.
Yep. This was, and friend zone obviously like really permeated pop culture. Like people still talk about the friend zone today.
The friend zone.
There's been multiple other, like there was an entire Scrubs episode about friend zone.
Yep.
There's been movies based around the concept of the friend zone. Like
that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
Women owe you nothing.
No, exactly. You know what? I can't remember where I heard it. I once heard a conversation about how the entire concept of the friend zone is fucked and wrong. What's really happening is the girlfriend zone. It's the opposite. What's
Yes.
happening is the man putting the woman in the place of girlfriend where she doesn't belong.
And then being upset and pissed off with her and resentful when
because
she
that's
doesn't
not
abide
where
by
she's
that.
Actually, there, yeah.
Even though she's completely unaware. Or if she is aware, she's not doing anything to enable it further. She's just existing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But so Ross says that he's waiting for the right time to talk to Rachel about it. And Joey's like, well, what's messing you up? The wine, the candles, the moonlight?
Yeah, it's so fucking obvious, you dumb shit. Because Joey is well versed in this, being the disgusting pig he is. I'm not forgiving him for the rest of this episode. And Ross is not. Yeah, it's sweet. Because later on, of course, everyone is like, the whole friendship group revolves around the Ross and Rachel dynamic, at all times. And it's just, it infuriates me. But this kind of early stuff where, it's just Joey at this point. I don't know. I really like that.
Yeah.
So then we cut to the vestibule again. And I really like this scene because it sets up a line later that I still quote all the time.
Yeah.
But she offers him a stick of gum, once again being so lovely to this weird guy.
Yeah.
And
he asks if it's sugarless.
yeah. Oh, is it sugar free? No. Oh, well then no thanks then. And then he has a whole internal dialogue.
His internal dialogue is just so good. If she offers you mangled animal carcass, you take it.
You take it.
Oh man.
But it's so true when you are just awkward like that in a situation.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even have to be with a love interest or someone you are attracted to. Like, it happens at work. It happens, out at social things if you maybe don't know everyone as comfortably. And you're just like, you're saying to yourself in your head, why'd you just say that? You're so fucking awkward.
Yeah. So then we're back at the apartment, and I know this is one of your all-time favourite bits from this episode, and where we finally get to hear Phoebe singing.
Yes, and what a song to start with.
New York City has no power, and the milk is getting sour.
And then, but she doesn't eat dairy.
Yeah, it's not but to me it is not scary, because I stay away from dairy. It's so good.
And the others just look at her like, okay.
I think this is one of my favourite Phoebe songs.
Same. 100%.
I tell you what, big call here. This is better than Smelly Cat.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Because Smelly Cat just became totally flanderized everywhere.
Yeah.
But this is just so off the cuff. It's almost as good as the one, or maybe, it's on par with the one when she's hoping she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Are you in there, little fetus? I will buy you some Adidas.
Yeah. And meanwhile, while she's singing, Ross and Rachel are out on the balcony. Monica wants to go out there, and Joey stops her because she can't go out there. He has to think of a lie. He tells her that Ross is planning her birthday party.
Which becomes the punchline of the episode. We'll get to that, but it's so funny.
It does. But I really like this because then Phoebe gets really upset that she didn't know that there was a birthday party planned. She's always the last to know. She was the last to know when Chandler got bit by that peacock at the zoo. She was the last to know when you had a crush on Joey when he first moved in. Which is just fantastic because then clearly Joey doesn't know. Oh, second to last.
Yeah. Oh, so funny. And you can see why Monica would have had a crush on him on face value. He's Joey's not my type at all, but...
No, he's a good-looking rooster.
He's fine, but, he's charming and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turns out he's also a disgusting pig. I'm still mad at him.
So, then we're out on the balcony and Ross is going through a general wonderment. Trying to find the words to tell Rachel how he feels.
Mm-hmm.
And just as he's about to do it, a big old cat jumps on him.
But what I love about that is when she's like, ooh, and he goes, yes, it's happening. I'm asking you out.
Yeah.
Like he's God's fucking gift to the world. He's like, yes, you've known all this time.
Yeah.
We are meant to be. Like, fuck off. Jesus, mate. And it turns out, in fact, Paolo's cat jumps on him.
Yeah.
So then we cut to inside and they're all singing, what's that song that I hate?
They're all singing the Carpenters.
The
Top of
Carpenter,
the World.
Top of the World. I was going to say Round the World, and I was like, I don't know. I don't listen to it enough to like it.
And
It's so annoying.
It's so cute though that they're all singing.
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Oh, it's fun when you do stuff like that with your friends, like break out into random song because there's no power.
Yeah.
But I just don't like that song.
Yeah.
The only good version of it is Japanese band that we just saw on the weekend, Shown a Knife.
Yeah. That's
Yep.
a great version.
They do a great version.
And they played it live as their encore.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Anyway, we digress. So, yeah, we get them singing, and then Ross is like leaping around the balcony with the cat
and
flooring him.
It's I tell you what, it's another great Schwimmer physical comedy moment.
Yeah,
Him
yeah.
It reminds me of Carrie Elwes with the rat of unusual size in The Princess Bride, which was actually supposed to be a little person in a costume.
Oh, right.
But the day of shooting, the little person apparently just got completely wasted and didn't turn up. So they just threw the costume at Carrie Elwes, and so he just rolls around on the floor like pretending this thing is fighting him.
And that was the scene your parents had to cut out of the video?
Yeah, I was too scared as a kid. I don't like rats.
Oh, nobody likes rats, babe.
Yeah, but so Schwimmer just like fighting this cat. It's a really funny sequence, I think, and the way that you see most of it through the window
Yes.
while they're singing the Carpenters, just
Yeah.
that juxtaposition.
It's fun.
So funny.
It's fun. It's just fun. It's
Yeah.
good fun.
Then later on, Ross is looking after his head because he's just a baby. He's sitting there, mending himself.
He really is a baby, isn't he? His nose was fucking fine episodes ago, and now he's like, Jesus, just put some fucking Dettol on it, mate, or something. Whatever. So Monica's like saying to him, oh, like, this might sting, because she's putting some kind of antiseptic on it, and he's a big baby. And he's like, ah! And Joey's like, oh, that was wax, sorry. Because he's still playing with a fucking candle like a child. Like
That's what I would be doing.
You would, 100%. And then, Phoebe and Rachel are like sort of doting on the cat. And Ross, was like, chuck her out in the hallway.
yeah.
In a blackout, she'll get trampled. And he's like, so?
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly not a cat person.
So then we're at the vestibule where we finally get your all-time favourite line, where Chandler turns around and he goes, you know what, actually?
Gum would be perfection.
perfection. And you know what? I like that line, but that's not my favourite line.
It's
of
the
scene.
internal dialogue.
Yes,
Yeah.
where he's like, I loathe myself. Gum would be perfection.
You could have just said like, yeah, thanks, that'd be good. But for me, gum
Yeah.
is perfection.
Sure, I'll have a stick. It's, oh man.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Oh, some of us are there constantly, babe.
Oh, honey.
My internal dialogue is just it's rampant. It's rampant.
I know. I live with you.
Yeah.
And as I've said many times, maybe try therapy. Yeah, so then we're back to the apartment building, not the apartment, because we're in the
Yes,
hallway
we're in the
looking
hallway.
for the kitty's owner.
Yeah.
And it's like these girls don't know that cats can travel a really long way, like
Oh,
when they're
yeah.
just let out all the time.
I
What?
mean, this cat is probably not even from this building.
Well, it turns out this one is.
Well, yeah.
But this is our first sighting of Mr. Heckles.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's not noted that he lives below them. He's just a very bad man because he's trying to take
He's
this
trying
cat.
to steal a cat.
Yeah, inexplicably.
It is.
He's like, that's my cat. Give me my cat. And the cat's like leaping out of her arms trying to get away.
Yeah. And then when they leave, he's like, you owe me a cat.
Yeah.
I mean,
What a fucking creep.
yeah, like it's funny in the sense of the writing in terms of a typical sitcom punchline. You owe me a cat. I don't know. Are there actually people in the world like this? What does he want to do with this cat?
Don't ask that question.
No, but cats are awful. Who wants to take in a cat for no
People
reason?
who like cats. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
Heckles doesn't strike me as that kind of a person.
Or maybe he's someone who... Anyway, let's not get into this. Like, he could be a psycho who wants to torture animals.
I guess. Yeah.
Oh, God. Why'd you ask the question?
Okay, all right. Anyway,
Do you know how dark the world is?
happier times, because then the cat runs away.
Yep.
Rachel and Phoebe get separated looking for it, and Rachel bumps into Mr. Italiano, Paolo.
Yes. You know what annoys me so much about this scene? When she's like, oh, wow, because he's so attractive. Firstly, don't do that. You don't say, wow, out loud, unless it's, I guess, like Henry Cavill standing in front of you. And then it's the timing of it is off anyway. So her saying wow blows out the candle. That's the joke, as well as her saying wow. And it's the timing's off. Like,
because the candle blows out like a full second after she says it. Yeah.
And if I was the director, I would have said, cut, let's do that again. Who's in charge of blowing out the candle? Sort your shit out. Fuck's sake. You got to run a tight ship on these things, okay?
Now, is Paolo as attractive as the friends believe?
No. Like, okay, he's, muscly and built, whatever. He's got long curly hair, which some people like. Luckily for you, that's not my thing. Bald guys is now. No, I don't. Yeah, like if I was somewhere and he was interested in me and I was a single young woman, I'd be like, oh yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I'll give you a go. I'll let you ride the noose train.
Whoa. Good Lord.
I'm really tired.
You haven't even had any martinis tonight.
No. Need another tea.
So then we're back at the apartment, and Rachel has brought Paolo up with her to meet everybody. And Monica is saying hi a lot.
Hi. Hi. So every time he gets introduced to a new friend, she says hi for the friend. Yes. Yeah. Yep.
And the only word he seems to know is Monopoly.
Monopoly.
But I tell you what, I seriously, I'm falling in love with Schwimmer as an actor. I wish that we would get to see him doing more again, because I can't even think of the last thing. But he is so on point in this scene when he's like, and where did Paolo come from? I mean, tonight, in the building, suddenly into our lives. Like the way he delivers it.
Nothing against David Schwimmer.
It's perfection.
I'm too busy being like, Ross, get it together. She's not your girlfriend.
Yes.
And we will get to this plot line later, even when she is your girlfriend.
Yeah.
But
yes.
This is the side of Ross I hate.
Yeah.
And they play it up all the time because drama.
Yeah.
And it's a show and it needs drama.
Yeah.
But it's not a nice side of Ross. I hate it.
Yeah.
But because it was the 90s.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah. So then Phoebe comes back into the room. She's still looking for the cat. And once again, she's annoyed that she is the last to know who Paolo is.
Poor Phoebes. She deserves better.
And Paolo introduces himself to her.
In Italian,
yes.
And she is like, well, hang on, what does she say?
You betcha.
You betcha. Because, he's attractive. But this is actually a bit of a consistency thing, once again. Because Phoebe speaks Italian.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah?
You know what? I don't think it's a consistency thing, because I looked up what Paolo says, and you betcha is kind of a reasonable response.
You betcha's a reasonable response to anything.
So I reckon that's part of the joke. I mean, probably not. It's probably a continuity thing, knowing the Friends writers.
Because she speaks Italian to Joey's grandmother later in episodes, and they're like, Phoebe, you speak Italian? She's like, oh, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah, I love that about her.
Yeah. So when he first introduces himself to the guys, he says, "Hi guys, I just moved in and I live in the floor below this, so I guess we'll see quite a lot of each other."
Oh, that's cute.
When he's introduced to Phoebe, he says, "Phoebe, you're gorgeous too. If you're all this beautiful, I should move right here."
You betcha.
Yeah, I think it works.
No. No, I think you're clutching at straws.
All right, then we're back at the vestibule, and this is actually my favourite Chandler scene of this episode.
Is it the pens?
No, it's where he's trying to be impish. I should blow a bubble. That's impish, and he just spits the gum.
He spits it out. The way he just launches it.
So
he's trying to be
funny.
Cool and charming, and he goes.
And then he thinks that she hasn't seen him spit it out, so he goes to put it back in his mouth, and it's someone else's gum.
She's seen it, but he's like, it's okay, it's all right, just put it casually back in your mouth, and this is not my gum. Oh my god, that scene always has me on the edge of my seat. I'm like, ew, ew, ew. It's like the bathtub scene in Saltburn. It's just like, What
would you rather put in your mouth? Gummy bath water or
don't say gum. Neither. Can I do neither?
And then she rushes over to give him the Heimlich maneuver and saves him. And it's a great moment. I think this is the funniest scene in this episode.
If there was a guy I had previously felt a little threatened by, I might just let him choke.
Yeah, I mean,
Or I'd let him suffer a bit to know that I have the power in the situation and to weaken him a little, and then I would save him.
choking is one of those things where you don't have a lot of time to leave someone.
Oh, it's fine.
Like, if you don't act quickly.
Well, I tried. Did I?
So then we're back at the apartment, and Paolo is talking to Rachel at the window. Again, I've looked up what he's saying. He's saying, look at the moon, look at the stars, look at everything that's beautiful.
Oh, so Italian.
And Ross is in the background just completely...
Blah, 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 blah,
Yes.
blah, 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 blah. Which is funny. I do like that bit.
I do have one question for you, though.
Yes.
You spoke before about feeling like Phoebe was a continuity thing. Shouldn't Joey understand that?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, Joey is Italian.
Yes.
And
yes,
like-
even if he's like, often children of migrants, although it's not clear if he's actually the child of a migrant.
Well,
but
we
but
know
often,
that his nana speaks Italian.
Yes, often people who are raised like that
At least know
understand
words.
it.
Yeah.
They just might reply in English themselves.
Yeah.
But there's just nothing going on there. Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're just like, Joey says disgusting things at this point in time, and that's his role.
Yeah.
Lazy writing. I actually do love this show very much, even though I rag on it every week.
Well, that's part of the job, you know?
Yeah.
You take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
I adore this show. This is so much fun rewatching it.
It is. Which time?
Well, yeah.
We're on our 10 million.
But so then Rachel goes over to talk to Phoebe about Paolo. She's saying that, even just like, being with Paolo for 10 minutes tonight is better than Bermuda with Barry.
Yeah.
But my favourite part of this correspondence is then Phoebe chiming back with, did you rent mopeds?
Yeah.
It's like...
that's not important right
she
now.
just gets so distracted by the idea of
Oh,
going...
you guys were in Bermuda. I
Yeah.
should ask questions about that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I'd like to go to Bermuda. I've thought about, I would rent a moped. Did you rent mopeds?
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yes, because okay, Rachel, we get it. Barry was boring. Blah. It's like the engagement ring all over again. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. And then Ross takes the opportunity to go over and talk to Paolo.
Yeah. He's such a jerk.
I mean, Ross is the one being a major crap weasel in this scene.
Yes, and he calls Paolo a crap weasel, and he's like, "Oh, you don't know." Blah, blah, blah. Like, stop being such a fucking bully
Yeah.
because the person you have a crush on
Yes.
is what?
Well, this
Nothing's even happened yet.
Exactly. This is
But also,
exactly what we spoke about
even
before.
if something had happened immediately, he has no right to her.
Yeah, this is exactly what we spoke about before with it really being the girlfriend zone instead of the friend zone. When he's talking to Paolo and he's like, we should be together. Like, and Paolo clearly understands at least the sentiment. He's like, oh, you guys have the sex. And Ross is like, no.
The sex has not been had yet.
But
yet.
he is so firmly of the belief that Rachel is his
Owed
for the
to
taking.
him.
Yeah.
Yep. He marked his territory. He peed on her. So,
I mean, he didn't pee on her, did he?
No, I'm making a joke. What? He, in his animal brain.
Yes, ape brain. Us men do have ape brain.
Am I going to have to explain everything to you in this in this podcast? And then we go back to the vestibule, and I love the pens. That just looks like so much fun.
Yeah.
Sitting under there and swinging one around your head. I might have even tried it as a kid after this because going to the bank was so boring.
Yeah. It's cute though that they're interacting. This scene, it always reminds me of the Breakfast Club when they're sitting around, and they're talking about their talents, and Claire can put on her lipstick with her boobs. It's just they're just sitting there playing with the pens. I don't even remember if we actually really see them talking in this scene or if they're just kind of playing.
No, she's like, Chandler, we've gone over this for an hour. You gotta whip it. And it goes around her head, and she kind of hula hoops her head to avoid it, and he whips and nearly decapitates himself because
I
he is
really
also
like this
good at the
scene.
physical comedy.
This scene makes me want so much more Jill Goodacre. I wish that she was in
100%.
more than just this episode.
She could have been like Paul Rudd. She could have just joined.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that. I would have loved to have seen it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like, what do you do with her the rest of the episodes?
Well, yeah, I guess.
Like, do you keep her as one of the gang, or
Yeah.
they're full? Like there's too many.
Yeah. And then we're back at the apartment for the final scene of the episode, and Phoebe is counting down the last candle, which just goes forever and ever and ever
Yep.
until someone finally blows it out.
Yep.
And then the power comes back on.
What? No, they're all doing their evil laughs, and
Yes.
you know, oh guys, I've got the ultimate evil laugh. So Ross like tries to take the cake, and then as the lights turn back on, Paolo and Rachel are kissing.
And Ross is
and he's like,
heartbroken.
oh,
Yeah, you can hear the moment his heart breaks.
oh, yeah, cry me a river. Like, go home and write it in your diary, Ross. Don't fucking make it everyone else's problem.
Yes, but then at least this episode has the common decency to end on a joke.
Yes.
This is not, you know,
A to be continued.
no, but not even a to be continued. This isn't, you know, like I'm gonna be fine.
Oh.
You know, like at least we get a
I've got
tag
magic
because Ross is standing there heartbroken, and Joey walks up to him and says, "You have to throw a party for Monica."
Yes. And he knows his friend is hurting, but also not his fucking problem.
Yeah.
And he's like, also, I started this rumor, this lie, and now you have to follow through on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, so funny.
Yeah.
So funny.
And then at the very end, we get the tag of the episode, which is Chandler pining after Jill Goodacre as she leaves. She gives him a little kiss on the cheek.
Oh, yes. I
Which is
know.
very sweet. And then...
He's never going to wash that cheek.
Yep. And then but again, we end on a joke because he looks up at the camera and he says, you know, my name is Chandler Bing. I'm account number blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
I don't know if you got any of that, but I'm going to need a copy of that tape.
Yes, yeah. Just to, I don't know, prove to his friends that it was true.
Yep.
I don't want to think about it beyond that.
Oh, no. Don't take it to a creepy saltburn bathwater place.
Well, why does he want a tape? Why does he want to keep a tape?
Oh, no. That's yucky.
Men are yucky.
Well, we are pretty gross. Us and our 8 brain.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the end of the episode.
It's a fun one.
I like this one. I don't like it as much as my memory told me I did.
That's crazy.
I've been saying all season that my memory is this is my favorite episode of season 1. And look, it may still end up being the case.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is as strong as some later episodes we get.
Okay.
I'm an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm an 8. Yep. Okay. Hard agree. Great.
You're already holding your card. You want to get straight to the lightning round.
I'm very sleepy.
You're all business.
All right. Well, I'm Noosk, the business bish. All right. 1 point. What is Ross's son from his first marriage called?
Ben.
Wow.
That is the easiest question I think we've had so far.
Yeah.
Almost as easy as this one. What instrument did Ross originally want to play at Chandler and Monica's wedding?
The bagpipes.
Yes.
That is one of my all-time favorite scenes. They are all struggling not to laugh. And have you watched the bloopers?
Yes. Yeah. It's
And then
fantastic.
Phoebe, the way she sings along. Oh my God, I love her so much. Okay, 2 points. In order to stop Rachel flying to Paris, which part of the plane does Phoebe say is broken?
The phalange, the left phalange.
The left phalange.
Yeah.
Yep. We say that all the time when we're talking about anything.
Yeah.
Planes,
Yeah.
plane travel,
All
things
right.
being broken.
This, I feel, is also a fairly easy one, but I'm banking on hopefully your memory crapping out on you.
It so often does.
Which band played at Monica and Chandler's wedding?
Yeah. Hang on a sec. I just need a little... I need a little nap and then I'll answer. Like, he gets his way because he gets one thing
Yep.
to make a decision on.
Yep. Oh, I'm going to pull back ahead here. I'm going to claw my way
You
out of the grave.
are. Fuck. It's going to annoy me. The big something. Oh, yeah. I'm too tired.
It's the Swing Kings.
The Swing
And I'm
Kings.
back on top, baby.
I hate to see it.
Yes.
I get harder ones than you.
No, you don't.
I absolutely do.
Well, we'll see what happens next week. Because next week we are watching the one where Nana dies twice.
Ugh. Sorry, there are some good moments in
sound
that
so
episode.
enthralled.
Yeah. It's an emotional episode and I can't stand it. It makes me cringe inside and outside.
Well,
all of the cringe.
Thank you for joining us, everybody. We hope that this episode didn't make you cringe. And if it didn't make you cringe, why don't you throw 5 stars at us on, iTunes and Spotify and all that good stuff. Tell a friend. Tell all 6 of your friends while you're sitting around the coffee shop.
Mainly just tell your millennial friends.
Yeah.
They're the only ones still watching it.
And we'll catch you next week with the one where Nana dies twice.
You are such a crap weasel.